Welcome everybody to season 5, episode 13 of Oz Media's Motivate Me 313 podcast. We have another exciting episode for you guys today. Today's topic is all about can women be mothers and millionaires? So let me go ahead and introduce the people who are on the show today. Starting off with little big bro Yusuf T in the back on the ones and twos as always. Of course, you got myself Omar T. To the left of me, we got sister IBT in the building. All right, we're gonna give her a round of applause.
Wow.
Go ahead.
I'll take it.
It's been a while. So we want to make sure we give you a round of applause. And then our guest for today is Mrs. Do It All. We got Bana Kadi.
Yes.
Bana Kadi. There we go. She's in the building today and looking forward to a great conversation. So I feel like both women are great for this topic because they are do-it-alls. They get it all done and they take on multiple roles. So we're like, hey, can mothers, can you choose between both or do you have to pick one? So we'll see what happens, all right? Be sure to follow us on all of our socials. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Apple, and Spotify podcasts, all under Oz Media. You can find all those platforms on our website at ozmedia313.com. Shout out to the sponsors of the show, Juice Box, Holy Bowly, Wingfellas, Chillbox, Melika Kebab, Hanley International Academy, The Family Doc, GE Preparatory Academy, and Royal Kebab. Ben, are you familiar with any of those businesses? We're going to let you pick the first sponsor we run for today. Are you familiar with any of those?
I think the only thing I was familiar was Wingfellas.
Wingfellas.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Wingfellas, you are up. Shout out to Wingfellas, and then we're going to get the show rolling. Do you know what goes perfect with the big game or your favorite TV show? Some deliciously tender wings from Wingfellas. Wingfellas restaurant is home to the best wings in Michigan. With over 20 different sauces and seasonings to choose from, you can make sure every wing order you make caters to your taste buds. They have 7 different locations in Michigan. They have a location in Dearborn, Southfield, Detroit, Belleville, Wyandotte, Flint, and Taylor. So no matter where you are at in the state, Wingfellas is your one-stop shop for some fall-off-the-bone wings. Also, be sure to visit them at their website at thewingfellas.com. All right, we are officially back and ready to get it rolling. So first and foremost, let me just check in. This is a check-in, see how you guys been. IB, we'll start off with you. And I was just saying before the show started, we haven't had you on the show. It's been probably a month. How are you? What's new with you? Anything new?
I'm good. Alhamdulillah, the year's going great. The semester's almost over after Thanksgiving. You know, they say when you make it to Thanksgiving, the rest of the year is like
Smooth sailing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Because there's really no major off days from like the beginning of the school year till Thanksgiving.
we go hard in
Yeah.
the beginning of the year. And
Yeah.
then so 3 more weeks and then winter break.
There you
Everything's going
go.
good.
And Ben, let's start off with the show about what you do, because I want people to know what you do. And by the way, if you hear me say "let her cook" throughout the show, it's a tribute to Benna. All right,
Very cute. I like
so
that.
I'm gonna say that.
I like any puns, honestly.
Yeah. So anytime y'all say something good today, that's my slogan for today. But can you tell the audience, all the different roles that you have?
Yeah. So I am studying early childhood education at Oakland University. I also model and I also do like commercial based things. So modeling kind of goes more than just like taking a picture in front of the camera, but it's more of just like it can be commercial based things, advertising, hand modeling, like whatever it is. I cook. I have a cooking page. It's called Let Her Cook on Instagram. And then I also do collabs with restaurants. Like if they reach out to me, I do reviews for them. I think they just value like someone's opinion on their food. So that's kind of what I just do. That's pretty much what has me booked up right now too. Like it's just modeling and cooking and reviewing. That's pretty much what I do. And then I coach lacrosse as well. And I also play lacrosse. So yeah.
Where do you coach at?
I coach West Bloomfield High School lacrosse.
West Bloomfield?
Mhm.
Okay.
I
So
was gonna ask you, what kind of cuisine do you cook?
It's mostly like Middle Eastern.
Oh,
Mediterranean.
nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
she bakes too. I've seen some, some
Yeah,
stuff. I was hoping for some Cinnabons or something.
Bro, my bad.
It's all right.
My bad.
It's all right. No, but first of all, I like how you like throughout that, because when people think modeling, they think staying in front of a camera and taking pictures, but
Yeah.
you also the advertising and stuff. So if we do ads for businesses, we can consider ourselves models as well. Is that what we're gonna do from now on? And just no, you're gonna not do
She
that?
said
All right.
nah.
Yeah,
I was like,
not really. Okay, so let's get on with question 1.
I hate
All right.
taking pictures. That's why.
Mm.
Yeah.
But this guy made it worse because he never lets me see the pictures. So it's like,
See, that's the problem. That's the problem. That's the problem.
I'm at the point where I'm just like, whatever.
All right. So, what does taking on multiple roles actually mean for modern women in 2025? Are we talking career plus motherhood? Or are we talking something broader? Benna, we can start off with you on this one.
I think taking on multiple roles kind of depends on what aligns with your life. Like, are you taking on roles, different jobs? What's a priority for you in your life? And then I think also women also are taking different, like multiple roles of like identities as well.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of express themselves through different identities, through different passions of theirs. And yeah, I think it goes more than just taking on like a job. Yeah.
Makes sense. I bet what do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm just going to piggyback off what she said. As soon as I heard that question, all I kept thinking about was like, okay, I'm a mother. I'm a teacher. I was a student, when I was getting my master's. I'm always a student of like our religion, Islam.
Mm-hmm.
I love going to lectures. I'm a sister. I'm the eldest sister because, that's a whole different role in itself. So, I also like student council and JHS, like, so it's just like so many different hats and we're constantly switching. And especially if you have a problem saying no, that you can't do something, like that's even worse. Cause like, now I'm going to be making a shirt, like right after this. So I'm crafty and then I do decor and I kind of had to pause on that business. So then if you're a businesswoman, if you have a side hustle as well. So even if you're a homeowner, honestly, that's a whole nother role too. So I feel like women definitely, there's so many roles that we play. We don't just play. And then if you're a single parent, you're both father and mother, especially if they're not there. It's just a lot.
Yeah.
Good point of view.
Yeah.
Great points of view, both of you. So the doing it all thing, is it empowering or is it exhausting? I think this is like...
You want me to go first?
Yeah, I'm looking at you because I want you to go first and then you can piggyback off of her.
Yeah.
This is the question that like... This is, $1 million question right here because we see it, at least people like myself will notice it and we see like, okay, they're doing a lot. And I wonder if you guys carry it like it's very empowering or I'm gonna be honest with you, it's exhausting. Like how do you feel about that?
It's exhausting, 100%. If you are the type of person it's even difficult for you to ask for help, it's even more exhausting because you're going to always do what you need to do to get it done. Obviously, it's rewarding when you see the fruits of your labor and you see all the people that you impact and people that you help. It feels good to be that person that, helps people. But it is definitely exhausting. So yeah, I would say it's exhausting.
How about you, Benna?
So I think exhausting. I think it's empowering because you're showing people that it's possible to balance all these roles. And for people that thought it was like impossible to do this at the same time, you're showing people that you can do it. But I also do agree it's definitely exhausting. Like you're always busy, you're always on the run, you always have like every hour you have something else to do. But I don't think exhausting, like I don't think that should be a negative term. I think like if you're exhausted, that doesn't mean like I hate, like if you're spending your whole week doing something that you love and you're exhausted, yes, because you've been on your feet all day, but like I'm exhausted in a good way. Like I like what I do, so I'm glad that I'm exhausted, So I think it just depends on what you're doing and like if you're like dreading your job every single day and then you come home, you're exhausted and you're like, hate it. I feel like you're where you're at in life, maybe like that's where you should change something. But yeah, but it is exhausting, but in a good way.
Yeah, it's rewarding, exhausting.
Yeah, exactly. It's rewarding.
No, good points. Because I sometimes, you can feel that way, and I say it all the time. Like people, like someone say like, "What did you do?" And I'll tell them, I was like, "But alhamdulillah, like I'm not complaining. This is just me sharing that this is what I was doing because I asked for this. I wanted this." And so let me ask you this question: would you want to let go of someone, if you can choose to, would you want to let go of some of the roles that you guys play? Anyone can go.
I guess, yeah. And alhamdulillah, my son's 16 now, so he is picking up a lot of the things that I have to worry about as well. So it does help. He's driving, like any kind of help, is good. But I do have to work on letting go of certain things because I can be very like I like a certain thing a certain way or whatever the case may be. So, and like I said before, I have a huge issue of not saying no and then also not asking for help. I just feel like, I don't know, it's just very difficult for me to do those two things. So yes, I am part of the problem, but obviously it would be easier.
How about you, Benda?
I think I don't really know, like, because I'm not married, like I'm not at that point yet. So like I have a bunch of roles right now that I am doing well, but balancing right now, but I am exhausted all the time as well. But I feel like, with time, you do need to drop things. I feel like, one of the roles that I have is like, I'm a photographer for like things here and there. It's like not even something that I say that I do because it's not even anything crazy, but like I would drop that, just because it's like another workload that I don't necessarily need to do. And it's not really like thriving as much as like my modeling page or my cooking page. But yeah.
Makes sense. And so, sometimes people are faced with trade-offs like you just mentioned right now. So like what are some of the trade-offs that women might do when they're balancing like multiple major life roles? Like what do you feel like would be something?
I think trade-offs, it comes with, you're sacrificing your time. You have less time. You have less time for your personal care, social life. Those are things that you need to sacrifice in order to, balance roles that you're picking up. Yeah.
Abir, what did you think?
Yeah, 100%. Before I went back to school, before I decided to get my master's, I had, a side business. It was a decor business. I had to literally put that on hold. And I was like, okay, I'm making the decision to go get my master's. So 100%. But the one thing that is always put at the end is me. And now I'm like, okay, I'm not adding anything else on my plate. Even though I finished my master's, I'm not going back to the decor. What I'm going to do now is actually put in time for myself. And, I'm older, much older than you. So it's like, it's sad that, it took this long to like kind of figure that out. But 100%, once like certain things that you can, drop to pick up a thing that's actually good for you, it happens all the time. But like there's certain things that don't get dropped, obviously family, your job that's actually, helping you survive. There's certain things obviously you don't drop, but your social life, the gym.
Yeah. Literally.
Skincare.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna lie to you, I need to get better at that. Like, because there's other things that gotta get done. Sometimes my mail, I'm not gonna lie, just throwing out there.
Like your mail to the house, or like
yeah. I'm just like, I'm gonna look at it all together one day. You know what I'm saying?
Because
people don't realize like you do have decision fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest thing, especially when you're
teachers.
working.
I feel like educators are the most, man.
Like all day, every day, this, and then like, khalas, like your brain is just shut off, you know? So, but it's rewarding.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to, like you said before, like, it's like, yes, it is.
Yeah, I think it's like it's a strategic decision that you're making, like you're kind of just putting your priorities up and what are you willing to balance and what are you willing to like push to the side. And there are things that you don't notice that you're pushing to the side, like you said, like, skincare or whatever it is. Like, it's hard to get back and be like, oh, like, I haven't done this for myself, or like, I didn't eat today, like, something like that. Yeah. So I think like making sure that you're keeping yourself in the loop with your life it's good.
Decision fatigue. I didn't think about that one, but that's a good one right there.
There was actually a study, I teach leadership right now in middle school. So I love it. I love it so much. And we were learning about making decisions and how they have to really, pros and cons and all that. They're middle schoolers. And we were watching this video and there was actually a study that was done. Judges, when the same incarcerated person comes up, like kind of same situation, same years, same behavior, all of that, they're more likely to pardon them in the morning than in the afternoon because of decision fatigue. They're exhausted. Like they're more like, tense at that. So it's there, and that's why don't ask me for anything after work.
Yeah.
Talk to me in the morning.
Yeah.
Sometimes you text me and I'm just like, I can't even, like, I'm just like, I'll reply back when I can reply back,
Yeah. And if you happen to get incarcerated, hopefully your court date is in the morning, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm running out of this situation as well.
It's kind of sad.
It is
or like
sad,
going to the doctor, going to urgent care. The morning time, they'll take more time with you. Towards the end, they trying to get you out of the door.
Yeah.
So it's true.
Yeah, I mean that's true. I mean that's with a lot of stuff, right? I mean even working, I work for the city, and so it's like, towards the end of the day, like we don't want to, we don't.
Yeah.
I felt bad for my
be
6
here.
hour. I felt bad for my 6 hour. I'm like, you guys, I'm sorry, but it's been a long day.
Yeah.
Chill out. You know?
You get burnt out. You get burnt out like after like 2 p.m.
Yes.
Like, really relax.
So I used to be a PE teacher, right? For Hanley. Shout out to Hanley. And the one thing I didn't like was for me, the older kids were easier.
Yeah.
Right? I had second, kindergarten, and then first to end the day.
Mm.
And your hands on, you know.
man, like I was exhausted. Like by the time they left for the day, like my energy was like at zero.
And they
because-
probably need the most
Yeah,
they're
they
the
need
ones
the
that-
most.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was interesting. So go ahead and let's give a shout out to Hanley. Right, we're already through 1/3 of the questions. So let's go ahead and give a shout out to our great friends and educators at Hanley International Academy, and then we'll keep things rolling. Shout out to Hanley. Let's be honest. If you're looking for the place that has the best K-8 school for your child, then the choice should be easy, and that's Hanley International Academy. Hanley International Academy is a school that treats every student and staff like their own family. It's even in their vision statement, educating your child like our own. The academics there are great. The athletics there are great. Thank you to the staff and administrators at Hanley for educating our leaders of tomorrow. To learn more about Hanley, you can visit their website at hanleyacademy.com or call them at 313-875-8888. All right, we are back and just kind of got things rolling. So, do you feel like that there are generational differences in how, women approach multiple roles? Like when you talk about millennials, Gen X versus Gen Z, like, do you think the old school people take on multiple roles differently than I guess our generation and then the generations that may be younger than us? Do you think there's any differences in how they approach that?
Yes, I actually do. So I think it's more than just generational. I think it's also like, if they are working or they're not working. I feel like from our parents, they never had to, the moms at least, especially if they had a traditional home. The mother didn't have to worry about work. She'd be focused on the kids, food, and the house. And then men always took care of the bills and paid for everything. Like that wasn't a concern for, the moms. I do feel like, certain generations do like work more or like kind of stick to that 9 to 5, or stick to what they're comfortable with. I do feel like the younger generation, they are dabbling in a bunch of different things, They're more like they'll try whatever. I ain't gonna lie to you, they work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
And I feel like the older generation works harder, not smarter sometimes, because they're like stuck in their ways and they want to make sure that they get that check every week.
Yeah.
They won't take really that big risks. But then again, it just goes with the person's like how much they know, and their background, their knowledge, their culture. It's like there's so many different aspects, not just like generational, but that does also play a part. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I mean, I think generational and situational.
Yeah.
Benna, you want to add on to that?
Yeah, I think kind of like what she said. I think millennials and like Gen X generations, I feel like they tend to be like, this is what works for me. I'm gonna stick with it. They don't really feel the need to, take so many different roles or really change their ways. Like that's how they're comfortable, and that's okay. Like you don't need to be. Your life doesn't have to be fast paced. You can just do what you like to do and enjoy it. And that's like how they grew up. They kind of
And like there's another study. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah. That shows that. Literally, that those two generations actually like retire like 30 years because they stick to the the newer generation. They're like switching jobs.
Yeah. I feel like Gen Z, they're openly finding new ways to do different things or different ways to make money somehow. Like you see someone like social media, like it didn't used to always be so huge. Like it was kind of just like you post like a picture of you and your family and that was pretty much it. But like now people are like really using it to their advantage. Like, to get exposure and I think it's I mean, it's impressive. It's cool,
it is.
Yeah. But yeah, and I think they're also like openly expressive about things that are happening like around the world.
100%.
Like they actually like voice, this is an issue. Let's fix it. Whether it's like social issues, personal issues. But yeah, I think that's.
I want to add on kids. At our time, they would sell lemonade. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, mashallah, I think like they're little
Barbers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything.
You know
the lemon juice.
Lemon, yeah.
So they come up with gummies. They sell gummies.
Oh, for other.
Yeah, and they're so yummy. He comes to Woodworth.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I'm like, look at you. And he gets a package. They're at a couple of grocery stores. And I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah, no, you meet someone. I feel like almost everybody I know now, like they don't only do one thing. They're like, oh, like I'm doing this on the side, or I have this, or I'm, doing stocks, or like young people. Like I'm just like, wow, like that's crazy. But no, it's something that people should like learn from, or like how do you explain it?
Teach and stuff like that. I mean, so let me ask you this: what do you, if you were just like, let's say a younger person comes up to you and they ask for advice, which one would you tell them? Would you tell them to take the traditional, be safe, and make your money and retire in 30 years, or would you tell them to pursue your goals and and go after it and do what you got to do? And it might be bumpy in the beginning, but eventually you'll get to your end goal, hopefully.
You go first.
Tough question.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I put you on the spot.
I feel like it depends on what do you value. Like, what do you want in your own life?
Yeah.
Like, do you want to just work this one job and that's it? Like, that's what you're comfortable with, and that's like the kind of life you see yourself living, or do you want to always do different things all the time? I feel like it just really depends. It comes down to what aligns with your life.
How about you, I bet? What would you tell
This
them?
is gonna show off my age, I guess. I have a son. He's 16, and I always tell him, like, obviously he might not know what his passion is right now. He might not know what career he wants to actually pursue, but I always want to like let him know that I do want him to get a degree, And yes, he can try different things, and he can do a side, especially if he doesn't have a family yet and he's still young and he has the time. Use your time wisely, 100%. Do different things, but I still believe that you do need some type of career, especially because you are going to be the man of the house, and it is your job to take care of your family because he is a man. So I feel like with them, they need to have a secure plan.
Yeah.
Girls, you could play around a little bit, but it's kind of scary because there's not really guys that are doing that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So we got to take care of ourselves too.
Right.
So yeah.
Look at y'all both sound excited.
I'm just saying, you really, it's very difficult. I'm not gonna lie, like you do need a two income household. It is hard, but at the same time, I do believe that men need to understand that is their duty, and they need to make sure that they are set.
Yeah,
they cannot rely on their woman because it takes away from our nurturing and motherly feelings.
Yeah, I think you should definitely like from like a decently young age to like make sure that your son, or like you tell them like this is your role, like this is how it should be. I think if you start making it too broad for them, they don't really see it as something that's important. So men, do your job. Do your job.
Yeah, there we go. That's going to be a clip. He's already nodding his head. So let's move to, like you say, from Syria. Obviously, I believe you're from Yemen. Do different countries and cultures approach this differently, and what can we learn from them?
You can go first. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess in some situations, but I feel like now I don't even think it's country anymore. I think it's more of where you were raised, because a lot of the times, if we're born and raised in America, our families are very similar compared to back home. And then sometimes families shift, because growing up, I didn't think that I was going to go to college. My dad was very traditional. I got married right after high school, but things happened, got divorced, was able to go back to school, and it changes. So, and I do feel like religion also plays a part too, because some of the, like if they really, follow the religion, like they know like they're the sole provider. And then if the woman wants to work, she can work, and they could understand like it's okay for her to work. So you know what I'm trying to say? Like, yeah, but I feel like also some cultures, it's like, they both have, there's an understanding that both of them are working for sure, and both of them are doing 50-50 or, so yeah. Both.
I agree. I mean, I think traditionally, like the roles, I personally do strongly believe of the roles of a man and a woman in a household. I think the man should be, providing, and the woman kind of takes on the role of, if she wants to do something on the side or she wants to work, that's her choice, but it shouldn't have to be like she has to do it, But yeah, I think traditionally that's kind of how it is. So, I mean, that's how I grew up as well. Like, I'm not going to speak for other cultures because like I'm not, I'm not too like educated on it, but I think it does play a role though. I mean, people here now, I mean, they grow up and they're like, no, everything should, like, this should be 50-50. She should do this. If a man can do it, then she can do it. Or I don't know. I think they kind of see things different, or like different values that we have and what we practice are like very foreign to them.
Yeah.
So.
For sure.
And a lot of the times, when ignorance is also plays a part, like some women like wish to have those opportunities and they will fight for it, but then they don't realize like it's a lot, you know? And, my mom never worked. My dad took care of everything, but unfortunately in my situation, like with, I had to work because, so it's a little different. But traditionally that is kind of the case.
So do you feel like the corporate world adapted to support women in multiple roles, or are women still navigating systems designed for single role workers? I'm just going to give you example, like let's say you are a single mother and you know that you have to pick up your kid after school, or things like that, or you're trying to make ends meet because you gotta have two jobs because you're a single mother. Do you think the corporate world has adapted to that, or do you think it's still the same and you just gotta adjust to it?
I don't think it's adapted, at all. I mean, I think the workload is the same as a man in any kind of workforce. Like if that's the job for the man and a woman comes in and be like, oh, well, you want to take this job? Here's the workload, and that's what you got to do. I don't really think they accommodate for you unless you're like on like maternity leave, but that's pretty much it. As soon as you're back at it.
And studies show that, sorry guys, I'm going to keep bringing it back, that men get paid more than women in the same roles.
Yeah.
So that's ridiculous to me, but
Yeah.
Which is crazy, but I mean, I'm not even trying to be funny. Like that's wild that's the situation. And they're doing the same thing. Like let's say if somebody was working less, I understand it.
Yeah.
I don't understand why that's still happening till this day, but I mean, I don't know. I'm not a decision maker.
Yeah. I feel like that's why like, women take on multiple roles now because, that's not going to be enough for them, or they need to, if they need to provide, for their family and what they're doing is not enough, even though it shouldn't be that way, then they're like forced to take on those roles. But yeah.
I was lucky to be able to teach at a school for 10 years where my son attended the school. So I was able to like see him and go to his conferences and, like just see him daily,
Yeah.
So it was beautiful, and go together, come home together. But now that he's in high school, like, shout out to the principal, Nicole Rebek, and even Iman Ali Ahmed. Like they both were very, very accommodating if I needed to go see him, but that's not the case in all situations, especially, I mean, they're moms as well, so they understand. But there is times where I do miss stuff because sometimes I don't like asking, you know what I'm saying? And I don't want to keep, asking. Like I'll miss parent teacher conference, but like I know he's doing well. Like I'm checking his grades. But, your job is your job. But it is a lot easier if you're a teacher, like you're in education instead of the actual business corporate role.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. So, Yusuf, we're going to take a quick pause break and run our next ad of today. And let's go ahead and give a shout out. We haven't given a shout out to Juicebox in a long time. So let's go ahead and give a shout out to Juicebox, and then we'll keep things rolling. Shout out to Juicebox. If you're looking for a place with the best smoothies, milkshakes, ice cream, cereal bars, and slushies, then Juicebox is your one-stop shop. You can try things like their Biscoff or Nutella shakes, crepes, watermelon blast, strawberry burst, or mango smoothies. Juicebox currently has 4 locations: Hamtramck, Dearborn, Detroit, and Trenton. So be sure to stop by Juicebox and get ready to leave there with a big smile on your face. You can also visit their website at juiceboxblend.com or download their app at juiceboxblend.appfront.app. All right, we are officially back, and so we're gonna now give perspectives, and we're going to.
I want to add something.
Defend.
This is kind of.
I don't like the tone, by the way.
No.
Yeah.
I just thought about it. I'm trying to say it, and like, so women.
Yeah.
Right. We have monthly cycles, and I wish that was more accommodating.
That is not accommodating at all.
At all.
Suck.
Zero. And it's so people don't understand like
it's tiring.
What we go through.
You can't stand. How am I going to stand in a workplace?
And there's different phases,
Yeah.
And men, you guys are always the same. So that we need to work on. That's in every job, every field.
We need a break.
Us men,
well, it's hard.
We go through a lot as well.
Okay.
We got football season where our teams lose. So that Monday morning and that Tuesday morning, your fantasy team just lost. I know y'all seen some videos of how people act when their team lose. So, it's not easy,
Yeah.
All the sports going on.
Is there like a crying one or like a sad one?
Yeah, sure.
Like a tiny violin sound.
Tiny sad violin.
All the different sports teams we have to follow, and when they lose, that the next morning is not easy. You know what I'm saying?
Well, okay, I will give credit to like men. I don't think that their lives are easy at all. Like I don't think I could ever Alhamdulillah, I'm a woman. I literally could never be a man.
In what way do you say that? I want to hear this response, because like what makes what from a woman's perspective, and maybe I really want to add on, like, what do you see that's hard and difficult for a man?
So I feel like men, like from the get-go, they know they need to work hard. They need to get that degree. They need to maybe get, more than one degree. They need to work enough and make sure that their job is stable enough to provide for them, impress, if marriage is what they want, they need enough to financially provide for a family, for the woman, impress, her family, to make sure that it's something that's respectable. So it's a lot of pressure mentally for men to just balance what they need to do in order to live a life that they want. So like I could not work as a man, like how they work, their study, like it's like mandatory. And I feel like that's really hard to accept.
We just found another clip, Yusuf, by the way. I just want to throw that out.
Wait, but add my part.
No, I'm
add my part.
Yeah.
The key word that she said is man.
Man.
A real man that knows what he needs to do.
You can't.
There's a lot of boys. I'm just looking at you because, like,
there's another man in the room right now.
There's a lot of boys. Like, if you're wasting your time playing video games and you don't know what you're doing, and you still, there's a whole different side. When she said man, yes, the role of a real man that actually does put his family on his back and takes care of them and does his part. You know what I'm saying? It's very stressful. It's very stressful. Believe it. I'm a single mom. Mm-hmm. So I have to put that hat on sometimes, and I don't want to do it, but I have to, Yeah. But, keyword, man.
Yeah.
There's some guys that don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care to do that. Mm-hmm. And they're narcissistic and they're abusive and that's another thing that I feel like with the different generations is that, the older generation tend to stay in situations like that because they don't know what else that they can do. And the younger generation, we know what we can provide. We know what we can do. So it's a lot more. You have a question coming up for that.
Yeah, you got something.
I'm sorry. I'm over here.
Yeah. It's okay. Good. Thank you for those responses. Those are great responses. So the traditional perspective argues women should prioritize motherhood. That's a traditional way. What's the evidence for and against this perspective? Like, do you wanted to say something?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, 100%. I think a motherhood should definitely be a priority. You can see it in the kids. I mean, like, the kids are the evidence, who they become to be. Like, you can see that they benefit from, their mother being around, from her raising them, teaching them, being there for them in good times, bad times, stressful times. Like, a lot of kids, like, they throw a tantrum, and a lot of the times they don't understand why they're throwing a tantrum, but they're upset, and they don't even understand the emotion of what upset is. So, like, being there for them and explaining to them, like, talking it out can really help them develop, like, their behavior, and how they react, and help themselves in stressful situations, even if their mom isn't there. So I think being there for kids is extremely important. And that's why I think moms should also, like, really be present in the house. If the man is providing and it's enough, she should definitely be at home, like, being there for the kids and making sure that she's, like, giving that environment of them, like, they can trust their mom, they can rely on their mom, so when they grow up, they don't kind of distance themselves. They kind of stay there and be like, oh yeah, like, I have a mom that I can talk to. I can tell her anything. I can laugh with her. I can joke with her. I can, tell her things I'm not proud of or whatever it is, So I think that's really, really important. I think it should definitely be a priority.
Yes, I'm going to piggyback off on that, but add on a little more when it comes from, the man. When a husband or father makes sure that their wife or the mother of their kids is safe, secure, protected, provided for, where she doesn't feel like she is in survival mode, she can be the best mother to your kids. Mm-hmm. She can be the person that, raises the next generation of leaders, but it's very, difficult, and it can be very stressful if that is not there. Right. You know what I'm saying? So then you don't realize you are hurting your kids. Mm-hmm. So, it goes hand in hand. And then, like, another thing, it's not just on the mom. Yes, obviously the mom, should be there 100%, but the dad is also, it should be involved. Like, a lot of the times, guys don't want to babysit, and it's like, they're your kids too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like a hand in hand, but you do have to provide that security with the mother so she can be the best version of herself to the children,
Right.
you know, because it's very difficult
Mhm.
when there isn't that kid, you know,
Yeah.
that's not there.
Yeah.
Because there's some moms out there, like, I feel bad for them, you know, they go through a lot and they can't be the best version of themselves. And it is sad. And you see it in the children when they come to school, and you know who needs love and who needs attention.
Right.
And it's like, even if their mom is at home, right, but she's stressed out about whatever, you know, her
Yeah.
husband or baby daddy, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there needs to be that security for her to actually fulfill that role.
Yeah, and I feel like the kids, like, they can understand that at a young age. Like, if they're not getting the attention, they show it. They get stressed out, and they actually, like, distance themselves from other people because, like, maybe not everyone's, like, relating to them or no one's feeling the same way. So I think that really, like, it affects them from a young age. Like, when you think they're not understanding, they are understanding. And you can see it, like, you can see it in the kids. And, like, if let's say, like, a kid's, like, lashing out or they have like a behavioral issue, it should definitely be, like, accommodated. Like, you should do something about it. But, like, right away, other people that are, you know, they don't know the kid, they're looking at the parents right away.
Yeah.
So they're gonna be like, oh, well, where's his mom? Like, what did they teach him? What did she raise him to be? You know? So
You gotta look at the whole picture, because there's always something. There's always a reason why.
yeah, exactly.
You know.
Even with adults, you know, when they act the way that they act, there's always a reason why behind it. One thing I'm going to add on to that is, you know, it's like kind of on the topic, but you'll be surprised. Like, kids are way more smarter than you think they are.
Mhm.
You know, I have,
And they talk a lot.
Yeah, they talk a lot. Like, they got so much to say.
yeah, I actually had to coach my daughters to be like, yo,
Listen, I don't know if it's gonna work, because mashallah, Amila especially.
yeah,
that
she's
girl,
the one. She's the one. So
you gotta make sure you train her to chill out.
I have 3 girls,
so
right?
cute. And she's
Yeah.
so smart.
And so, you know, I was telling my wife this, and I was telling her, you know, start allocating jobs for them. Like, they'll do it,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll be surprised. Like, they want to do it, and you know, if I'm not around at the moment, you know, I can try to help as best as I can. But I'm saying, if I'm not there, like, they'll do it, and like, they're a lot smarter than you think they are, and they're willing. And so, and I'm just thinking about it, like, you know, just little minor stuff. And so, don't underestimate, you know, what they can and can't do. And they, you know, they also absorb everything that's being around them. So they know. Like, you'll
Mhm.
talk to them about something, and you think they don't know, and they know what they're talking about.
100%. So you know how you said allocating tasks?
Yeah.
So I saw online, I gave it the idea to my friend, because she has younger kids too, a kindergartner. And so basically there's sticks. You write down a certain job, like wiping down the table, or,
Yeah.
you know, fixing the pillows on the couch. And then they get like 5 minutes of screen time.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, and the kids love the iPads, but if they know that they have to do something to earn it,
Yeah.
you know, they're gonna
expect that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it
No,
was
for
kind of cool, and they were cleaning up the house. She snapped me, and
Yeah.
everyone's doing something. I was cracking up.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but it builds that responsibility, like simple tasks, like you said,
Yeah.
keep them busy.
Mhm.
Exactly. So this is another fun question. You know, women are a lot of them being told you can have it all. You know, you can do it all. You know, and I don't mind it. Like I said, I got 3 daughters, so I want them to be, you know, independent but respectful, like a balance. You know,
Right.
like inshallah, when they find a future spouse, and you know, have respect, know your role, but also don't just like not do anything on your own.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, is it actually possible to have it all as a woman, or is that a harmful myth being sold to women?
So I think
Can we get an air horn for this one, by the way? Because we need an air horn for this one. All right.
I think that what is first you have to define, like, what is having it all? Like, what does that mean to you?
Mhm.
What
Big
like,
house, nice car,
yeah.
family,
Yeah. So
happy family, you know, making good money.
yeah. So I think it kind of comes down to, like, what do you think having it all is, and when is enough for you? I mean, I feel like a lot of people don't, like, once they reach a certain point they were working up to, like, oh, like, now I have this, now I need that, or like, I got this car, now I need that car, or like, you know, like, I feel like, I mean, it's not necessarily like a terrible thing, because you're always, like, you know, you're always improving yourself, but I feel like humans are also very greedy, and so, like, I feel like having it all, you'll never have it all at one point in your life. I feel like, you know, down the line you can be like, hey, like, I've had it all, like, I've had a good life, I feel fulfilled, I experienced this, I did that, I did this, I've had like a lot of different like experiences, so I think you can say that, like, yeah, I've had that, but you'll never, like, you're never going to peak all at the same time. Like, you're never going to, not every aspect of your life is always going to be peaking at the same time where you can be like, yeah, I have it all right now. Like, everything is perfect. Like, even on social media, like, if people look at like they're perfect, they're really not. Like, I'm telling you now, like, nobody is perfect. Like, everybody has some sort of issue going on, or something they're working on, something they're not like, you know, to the level that they want to be at. So, yeah, I feel like, having it all just kind of comes down to what is enough for you. But I think if you know, if your values are right and they're where they need to be at, like if you have a good support system, you have family, you have you like what you're doing it for like you're benefiting yourself and other people, you're working a good job, and you raise good kids, I feel like that should really be like, that's having it all. Yeah.
Great answer. I bet
She perfectly answered that question. What was going through my head was like, when it comes to just, when you get picky, when you, this is what my expectation, this is what I want, and I'm not going to settle for anything less. I think it just depends on how much work you're going to put in to have it all. Also, what is your definition of having it all? Because there's people that are very content with having religion, family, and food to eat and a roof over their head, and they're content. This is them having it all, So, like you said, sometimes it's never enough for certain people as well. But it's like, how much work are you willing to put in? Are you willing to, continuously better yourself and work hard and to achieve those things? So it depends on the person.
Yeah.
Good answers. I was maybe expecting a little bit more tea out of that situation, but it was more.
I was gonna go there. I was like, I'm not going there.
Yeah, respectable. I respect it. So, believe it or not, we're running into our last final question and final words. All right. So, if there's anything else you guys like to talk about, feel free to jump in and talk about it. What advice would you give to young women who are navigating decisions about career, family, and personal fulfillment? Maybe you could start this one. What advice would you give to young women navigating it all?
I feel like in the beginning years, you should focus on getting to know yourself, working on yourself, being the best version of yourself, before you go into another relationship, before you try to be with someone to bring that happiness to you. First, fulfill your own happiness. And then from there, obviously, you can branch out. You should try to have a career for yourself, because you never know what's going to happen to you. You never know, if your husband dies, or maybe you can marry the most amazing man, but something happens. We don't know what the future holds. But as long as, you get to know yourself, you work on yourself in all aspects, mentally, physically, emotionally, make sure that you bring your own self-happiness, and then you can go ahead and probably branch out and get married and rely on somebody else.
Yeah. I definitely think having that like as a backbone is important. Like, have your degree, have it in your back pocket. You don't need to use it if you don't need to use it, but have it so that way, like, in case like last time something happens, you can use that to your advantage to still support yourself and the people around you. Advice, I feel like, make sure you have a support system. Like, build your support system as soon as you can if you don't have one. Like, family, friends. You don't need 100 friends. If you have maybe 2, 3, 4 friends that are really good for you, they're honest with you, you guys like respect each other, you guys are like, you put each other in your places. I think that's like really important to have. Also, stop comparing yourself to people, like other people. I think that's a really, really big issue that I hear from people all the time, and they even ask me like, how do you model and you don't compare yourself to other people? Like, when is enough for you, like looks wise or any of that? Like, honestly, like literally just do what you love and just do it. Like, you don't know what's gonna, pop for you. Like, I did the let her cook. Like, I did that as a joke, and then it popped off, and like, wow, like, like,
when did you start it? Just
like a year ago, maybe a little less than a year ago. Yeah. And then now I have like 10 point some K followers.
Nice.
But yeah. So it's nice. But just don't compare yourself to other people. Like, you don't know what they're going through either. So, they may be picture perfect, but they're really not. Like, so just worry about yourself, put yourself as a priority, not other people, or like comparing yourself and be like, I need to be like her. I want to look like her. Like, why? Now you're just someone else's personality. Like, be your own personality.
Yep. And then I just want to add on to the part where you said choose your friends and family, support system. There's this famous admiral that gave 10 pieces of advice, and one of his advices was to find someone who will paddle with you. And it was like, if you have a boat, you got one person that's not doing anything, the other person is paddling in opposite direction, you're not going to go anywhere. You're going to go in circles. So you got to align yourself with people that are going to help you be better. That person that's going to tell you, let's go to the gym. Let's watch this podcast that's going to help us, better ourselves, like on Oz Media.
Yeah.
Just, you know what I mean? Just that group of people that's going to help you advance in life.
Yeah.
You don't want those friends that are going to keep you in the middle of the lake.
Right. And it's hard to find. Sometimes it's hard to drop people that you're already friends with.
Yeah.
Like sometimes, that you shouldn't be doing something that you're doing with these people, or they're doing something that you really don't think is good to do in general, or like if you don't support it. And sometimes you're stuck in a circle like, oh, well, if I leave, it'll be weird. You don't want to create problems. But honestly, like if you have to create that problem, then do it, because you're only dragging yourself down with them. Like if you genuinely think that, you see yourself or other people are noticing in you that like, oh, like, why are you acting different? And why are you being like in a negative way, then really do take that time to think about like who your friends are and what they're doing and what their values are as well. Like if they're not aligning with you, what you believe in, then I don't think you should be friends with them. And maybe like try to better them.
Yes.
They might not like take the advice, but like as long as you try your best, like some people, they're stubborn. You're not going to change everybody, but I mean, try to better yourself, try to better other people. And if you can't, then you just leave that and let them, live their own life, but definitely live your own life.
That's definitely a issue that especially middle schoolers have, and my son even faced that as well, is when they are friends with someone since preschool or since kindergarten, like you grew up with this person, but you are starting to drift. You are starting to see this person is dragging you down, or they don't, want to do things to better themselves. Your job, I get it. There's years in there. Respectfully tell them like, hey, I don't, this is the situation. I need you to be better. I love you, but I can't be around you if you're gonna do this, and that.
Mm-hmm.
Now they have the choice. You did it respectfully, and you gotta keep it moving.
100%.
Try to bring them up, but
Let them cook. All right. They listen. First of all, I'm gonna add on to this, and you're gonna like this too. I mean, by the way, I just want to say this.
I'll see if I'm gonna really like it.
Yeah. And then I'm not saying that you're relying on the man, right? But it is also a man's duty to empower the woman in his household, including his sisters, the daughters, obviously the wife as well too. I believe that as men, we are afraid, especially like Arab men, like we're afraid to, and maybe it's getting better, right? It's definitely getting better. I mean, talking about 20, 30 years ago, she was one of the few women in high school, and now it's like, obviously it's different. But I think it's our job. It's our job to empower the woman in your household, make them understand that they can do anything, obviously with the respect of the family and the parents and whatever it is that they want to do. As you should be their supporter. You should be their number one supporter. You should be there for them, because they do need that. It doesn't necessarily have to be a man. I mean, like your husband or whatever. Talk about, it could be a bigger brother. It can be an uncle. It can obviously be the father. So be that person. Be that person that, gets them to where they need to get to. Be there for support. I think that's just so important. And I don't think we do it enough, and or think that we can do a better job of it. We're so afraid to like, congratulate our sisters or our daughters and all their accomplishments. Like it's like a weird vibe with Arab. You know what I'm saying? Like a guy does it, we're celebrating them at a restaurant, we're having a whole lunch and stuff. A girl does it, it's like, it's almost like we're proud, but we're not, cheering them, give them that full a round of applause that they deserve. So I mean, I'm just saying, it's like little things where we can help the process. I'm not saying that we are the main focus of the process, because at the end of the day, every person is their own individual self. But I think we can help that process even more by empowering our women and telling them that, you can do this. As long as you have respect for the religion, respect for the family, you can do it.
Yeah. I think that, and like the women, we value that opinion as well. Like, or like the other person, congratulating them, or, telling them, hey, like, good job, or I'm proud of you. Like, I have a very, very good like older brother. He's always very supportive of me. He always pushes me to do things that I want. He's always there when I need him. And even when I don't realize that I need him, he says, hey, like, what's going on? Like, how are you? Like, how are you? How you been? Like, what's the deal? Or what's the process on this looking like? And like, say like I'm procrastinating on something, he'll be like, you didn't talk about this, like what's going on, so they're always there to put you in your place and also like encourage you and then be there for you in your worst, your like your bad times and your good times. So shout out to Rami, but he's really alhamdulillah, very good brother. So I think that male role in the family, or whoever is married into the family or whatever, it's very important to make sure that they're supporting you and you're supporting them. They also, like, the men also need to be heard as well. Like, I'm not going to say like men don't need a woman to be there for them and be like, oh, like, no, like I'm a man, I don't need this. But no, like I think men have feelings,
Yeah.
So definitely be there for your husband, your brother, whoever it is, and support them the same way they support you, and it should be a healthy family. Like, yeah,
for sure.
So secure men do that.
Yeah.
Naturally. And alhamdulillah, my family is amazing. My uncles, my brothers, but sometimes men can be very intimidated by a woman that's successful as well, because I feel like they don't want to work hard.
Right.
So that's where like it gets kind of tricky.
So you was good up until this point right here. You was all right with me up until that point. Well, listen, Bana, I just want to tell you that you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
And Abir, speaking from a brother's perspective, you're doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
Taking on multiple roles. I mean, you know this already, but if people want to see how you're doing, just go look at Ramzi and how amazing of a young man he is. And it's a huge reflection on who you are. So.
Honestly, I always say this, like, it wasn't just me, it was with Allah's help, because there's no way that I could have made him that, because honestly, he's better than me, I would say. So it's not all me, for sure. And then obviously my brothers played a huge part too, but he is a really good kid. Allah knows what you can handle.
Right.
Allah knew that I had too much to juggle to worry about that. Honestly, he's great.
Yeah, Allah doesn't put you through anything you can't handle.
100%.
I actually miss Rams. He's at that age where that junior year of high school where you don't see him as much anymore, and it's always nice to see him every now and then. And
they had a tournament today, 3 games, they won all 3.
For real? I wonder how he did.
I know, I didn't ask about points.
Well,
I ran here.
He was messaging in the group. So
I said, yo, you guys win? He's like, yeah. I'm like, how many games? Like 3. I'm like, okay. That's all I asked before I came.
He goes to Dearborn High, by the way. So shout out to Ramsey. But with that said, I'm gonna give a shout out to our ads. You guys can prepare your final word, final comments, whatever you guys like to say. Again, you can follow us on all of our socials. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Apple, and Spotify podcasts, all under Oz Media. You can find all those platforms on our website, ozmedia313.com. Shout out to our sponsors of this show: Juicebox, Holy Bowly, Wingfellas, Bates and Mocha, Chillbox, Melika Kebab, Hanley International Academy, The Family Doc, GE Preparatory Academy, and Royal Kebab. Abir, final word, final comments, and then Benna, we're going to let you close out the show with your final word and final comments. Abir, anything you want to add or last thing you want to say?
This is for the ladies out there. You don't have to have everything figured out. You don't have to do everything by yourself. You can ask for help. And I'm kind of like, this is advice that I need as well. Like, I'm talking to you guys, but it's like mirroring me. It's okay. Rejection is a redirection, and it's okay to not have it all together and be there for one another. We already go through enough. We don't need to be, versing each other or whatever, comparing or whatever the case may be. Let's be there to support one another, because life is hard enough, and we can be each other's anchors.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think just make sure you have a good support system. You can be there for one another, for people around you, or if you don't have like a good support system within your family, like you have your brothers and sisters in Islam, like you can definitely I feel like Arabs are always very like in open arms. If you need anything, they're always there for you. They'll help you. They'll give you advice. But yeah, I think that's a good point.
All right. Well, thank you, Benna, for coming on the show. We appreciate you. I know you got a busy schedule, and of course, I bet you too. You're starting to get too busy for me. I bet it's starting to get.
Today's gonna be a busy day.
Starting to get a little worried. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I know this time will come in life where you might not respond back to my messages for like 6 hours later, and now we've entered that category.
It's busy, but it's not stressful. I like everything that I'm doing. Like going from a classroom teacher to teaching leadership. It's like I love what I teach. Like the spark came back, you know. But it is busy. It's like there's always something going on.
Well, you guys are doing a great job. Keep up the great work, and we hope that you all enjoy this episode. This was season 5, episode 13 of Oz Media's Motivate Me 313 podcast. Can women be mothers and millionaires? Shout out to Benna. Shout out to Abir. Shout out to Yusuf T in the back. My name is Omar Thabit, and we hope that you enjoyed this episode, and we will see you all next time.